And in the visitor reception area, you'll see that there's, you know, some gorgeous photographs of students. That was from our Celebrating African History Day. You'll see that our funky chairs down in the bottom, we paid for those. But the whole idea is that the colour is the kind of, you know, the spiritual heart of the school. And behind me, you can see the panels. This is one of my art teachers did this. And these panels represent each of the colours of the public areas of the school. And the words are to do with the kind of spiritual significance of colour and the kind of psychological impact of colour on learning. And these are photographs of our students, and we'll change these as the years go on. So colour is absolutely the heart and soul of the school.
I think people were particularly interested in the funky chairs, Liz, as we passed over those. We need to get to some of the real learning outcomes of what's been going on here. And I'm just interested to know, what were the biggest challenges for you as a head teacher going through this process?
Well, workload. I mean, the workload is enormous, there's no doubt about that. Doing 2 jobs for the last 4 years, balancing, you know, all the different things, learning a new language, learning the language of construction, of design, of value engineering, learning how to fold drawings is a real challenge. But most importantly, you know, balancing the demands of this thing called DSF against our absolute determination that our students were not going to be harmed, that the kids who are in the school at the moment, you know, would not be damaged, their education wouldn't be damaged by us being a building site or by us being distracted by BSF. So we did a kind of outward-inward thing, where I did the outward stuff with BSF, and my team, up until sort of last year, focused on standards. And the fact that we've gone from 38% to 60% in 5 years, I think, you know, my conscience is clear about that.
Now, Liz, we've got some head teachers in the audience today, so if you were going to distill all of that down to 1 or 2 key pieces of advice for head teachers and school leaders going through the process, what would they be?
I would say that, first of all, decide right at the start what your non-negotiables are. You know, what will you absolutely not budge on? What's the core of what you want to achieve? And for example, this space here, this glorious space, might not have happened. If I remember sitting in a meeting, people were talking about value engineering, about having to save £80,000, and being given the option of saying, yes, actually, I don't mind if there's not going to be a foyer like this. And I knew that whatever came out of my mouth was going to have a major impact on what this building looked and felt like. And so the right things came out of my mouth, and we've got the foyer. So decide what your non-negotiables are and absolutely stick to it. I would say another thing, make friends with your builders. One of the things that we did when we got to the kind of closing part, near to the school being finished, is we sent cards to all the builders and all the people working on the school, thanking them for the great contribution that they were making to our community, because we didn't want anybody to botch anything at the last minute, and we wanted them to love the school like we did. So that worked really well. And finally, I would say, be brave, take the risk, avoid the bog standard like the plague. And you know, it's an amazing opportunity to leave a legacy, and so make sure that your legacy is great and fabulous, because how many people get a chance to do that? And you will forget about the hard work when you see the school.
Great, thanks, Liz. Liz, that's been a great session. I'm absolutely amazed that the technology has worked and not fallen over. My hammering heart is slightly less hammering now, so we look forward to 2 more sessions. I understand that when we return after lunch that we'll be in a classroom, and then later on in the day we'll be in the community hub, and we're all really looking forward to seeing those. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you later. Bye.
No, actually, sorry, Russell.
Yeah, go on.
I've got somebody here to talk.
Right, okay.
If you
all right then.
I'm going to just a couple of, is that okay?
We'll do that for 2 minutes then, Liz.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I've brought Lisa Cartwright along because she's my head of expressive arts, and in a sense that faculty has had the biggest change in terms of facilities. So I just wanted her to paint a little picture of what it was like in the old school and what it's like in the new school. Lisa.
Okay, well the difference between the 2 schools is phenomenal. The 2 gyms that we had in the old school were quite far apart from each other. The facilities were incredibly run down, cold, and really uninviting for the students. We did have 2 drama spaces, but again, they were very basic, and we had no specific place to offer students dance. Now in the new school, it's just tremendous, the change. We've got a forecourt sports hall, we've got a beautiful theatre with tiered seating, sound and lighting, and a purpose-built dance studio. It's really, really good.
And could you just say one difference it's made to teaching and learning?
Well, we're able to offer new opportunities, new learning opportunities, much better facilities, better equipment, and we are hosting more things for the community and the primary schools, making links, which is all a good benefit to the students.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
Okay, so Liz, we will sign off at this point. There's something there about the authority of the voice of a head teacher, isn't there, that makes you fall into line. Liz, it's been a great session. We do look forward to seeing you after lunch, and I'll sign off for now. Cheers.
Okay, see you then. Bye.
Know that everyone here will take away with them. It's make friends with your builders. But we'll be joining Liz a little later. It is time now to welcome our keynote speaker. This session is called Going for Gold. Can BSF help produce Olympians of the future? And it just so happens we have Sir Steve Redgrave with us. Sir Steve Redgrave has proved himself the greatest Olympian Britain has ever produced. I'm just wondering what else you put on your CV, if that's the top line. Very little, I would have thought, but I'm going to just briefly tell you about the lead-up to that success. Steve was first put in a boat by his English master at Great Marlow School, and he turned professional